One of the most effective strategies for building loyalty with your clients is to send a handwritten note. Handwritten notes show a level of care and attention that cannot be matched by any other medium. Handwritten notes are a powerful way to make a personal connection and can be used to thank your client for their business. Handwritten notes can be sent as a thank you after a purchase, to celebrate a milestone, or to simply show appreciation for being a loyal client. The personal touch of a handwritten note will make your client feel like they are being acknowledged and valued. My name is Rachel, and I am here with Brent Peterson, the host of Talk Commerce. Brent, tell us who we have today on Talk Commerce.
Thanks, Rachel. Today I interview Rick Elmore with Simply Noted. As you said in the introduction, he is an expert in helping you to build loyalty with your clients.
Here are a few words from our sponsors. Please make sure you reach out to them.
Talk Commerce is brought to you by Content Basis. Have you tried machine learning programs only to find they give you repetitive garbage or worse, information irrelevant to the context of what you asked for? Do you know if the content that you're using on your website is even performing? Content Basis exists to analyze, create, and measure the content that is crucial for your product or service. Content Basis analyzes your website analytics to learn what is performing well and what is not. We dig into your search history to discover what keywords people are using to find your product and services, and what keywords people are using to find your competitors' products and services. We create a content plan to help you deliver content that wraps around your most vital products and services, and then we track the performance of this content, reassess it, and make it better. Go to contentbasis.io to learn more. The open beta program is available to new users. Go to contentbasis.io. Talk Commerce is sponsored by Haifa, or as the Europeans say, Hoofa, or the right way to say it. Hoofa is rapidly becoming the biggest Magento front end after Luma. For those who don't know it, Luma is the basic theme that comes with Magento, and it is giantly slow. If you're looking for a template-based front end with the fastest loading times in the e-commerce industry while saving costs on development time and hosting infrastructure, Hoofa is your best option. Everybody loves a fast site, including Google. Improve your Google ranking and conversion rates and make your customers happy. Learn more at hyva.io. That's hyva.io. My name is Brent Peterson, and I'm your host. Please remember to subscribe wherever you download your podcasts. And now, Talk Commerce. All right, welcome to this episode of Talk Commerce. Today I have Rick Elmore. Rick Elmore is the founder and CEO of Simply Noted. Rick, go ahead, introduce yourself, tell us your day-to-day role, and maybe one of your passions in life.
Yeah, so my name is Rick Elmore. I'm the owner of Simply Noted. That is a handwritten notes platform. We'll kind of dive into what that is later. But my background is in athletics. I played college and professional sports. Played at the University of Arizona. Was a 3-year starter for Mike Stoops, and then was drafted in 2010 in the NFL draft. After that, was in corporate medical device sales and marketing. First year was Rookie of the Year. Next 6 years was either top 1% or top 5 rep in the company. And then 2017 came around. I had an itch that I just couldn't scratch with what I was doing then. So I went back and did my MBA, and that's where the idea for Simply Noted began.
That's awesome. So passion is still athletics? Are you playing football still?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah. And then my passions, I am an avid outdoorsman. I have a 3- and a 5-year-old now, so I have to be a lot more calculated in what I do with my time off. I can't do those 3- and 4-day adventures anymore, so I have to be a little bit, what's closer to home. But yeah, I would say, I'm doing a half marathon this upcoming weekend, so I still try to do a lot of physical activity. That's what I enjoy doing most outside of work.
Awesome, that's great. I warned you in the green room that we're doing this free joke project, and you agreed to participate. So I'm just going to tell you a joke, and you can tell me if that joke should remain free or if we could charge for it. And I'm just going to preempt today that the joke I have found, I'm going to guarantee your kids are going to love or at some point. But anyways, here we go. Yesterday, my doctor told me my chronic diarrhea is inherited. Runs in the family.
I would say that's a good dad joke, but let's keep that one free.
Yeah, I agree with you. So
yeah.
All right. So simply noted. I'm a big believer in handwritten notes. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah. So when I was in my sales career, it was really hard, especially in the corporate infrastructure scene, to really stand out and be different, because in the corporate world there's always a competitor. Actually, in everything that you do, there's always competition. There's a different option. All the customers are being pulled in every direction by every vendor to try to get their attention. And when I was in my MBA class, I had a marketing professor who was just talking about success rates in marketing, and everything was super marginal. Everything was low single-digit percentage, email, cold call, print direct mail, knocking on doors. And I had a professor that said handwritten notes, guys. At the end of the lecture, he said, kind of half-jokingly said, hey, guys, what still works is a good old-fashioned handwritten note. It gets opened almost 100% of the time. He says it's actually 99%, and there's just nothing like it. I don't think he knew what he was doing then, because the light bulb started going off. And I had a classmate of mine and myself. We got to work. We worked with the mailing house here in Phoenix, Arizona. Flew some technology in from South America, China, and basically it was a pen plotter. Where's that? Usually have a pen plotter in here to show you. But sent out some really bad handwritten notes that were written by this pen plotter. It took us about a month to write out 500 of them, and just had a phenomenal response rate. Just as a salesperson, having a client call you back, right? That's a big deal. And what we really noticed was, how powerful they can be, how powerful of a tool it can be used in just so many other different facets of business, not just sales. Client retention, relationship building, booking appointments, staying top of mind. There's just a bunch of ways that you can use this tool in very valuable ways. But for me, what sparked the idea was outreach, booking appointments, and closing sales. So had tremendous success in 2017 doing that, 2018, and then the business kind of just grew organically. In 2019, we founded Simply Noted full-time, and that's what we've been doing for the last 4.5 years.
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely have had conversations with other entrepreneurs and business owners who, especially people that are in an older generation, who say that that's a lost art, is the handwritten note. I remember sitting through a meeting or a panel with one of the more famous guys in the Twin Cities, who had said he picks 30 people a day out of his sales. He had a retail, and he would send them a handwritten thank you note, and he would handwrite every single one of them. So I can certainly appreciate it. And so tell us a little bit about your system and how you're not asking actually everybody to handwrite it, like you mentioned plotters and stuff.
Yeah, so what Simply Noted is we're a handwritten notes platform. We help companies either automate it. So think of a new client signs up, we can automate sending a thank you, or handwritten thank you note. Or say it's after their 5th purchase, we can set up some type of trigger using Zapier and API integration of webhook. Once they hit that milestone, to thank them, or an anniversary or a birthday. We really like to kind of consult our clients on the relationship side of building sending these notes on a relationship purpose, because they're going to stick around a lot longer. The lifetime value is going to go up. They're going to be happier. They're going to refer their friends. They're going to write better reviews. So we think the tool of sending a handwritten note should just be simply to thank somebody, because just saying thank you, it's worth its weight in gold. It's going to come back to you tenfold over time. It just takes time, and all good things do take time. So Simply Noted helps you automate it or scale it. So if you need to send one, if you have all the stuff, we always tell our clients, if you have handwritten notes or notes in your desk and you want to send one-offs, we tell you to do it, because there's just nothing like a handwritten note from you, but just a tiny little speck below is simply noted. Everything we do is real, genuine, pen written. We've invested over $850,000 in the last almost 2 years developing our own handwriting robot. It's a real 3-axis, left, right, up, down, forward, backwards, 3-axis gantry-based system that's auto-fed. We've developed our own handwriting engine, our own software, our own mechanics. It's pretty awesome. Software integrations. So Simply Note is just a platform that helps, realtors, mortgage professionals, e-commerce businesses, politicians, nonprofits to either automate it or scale it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know that I've talked to other people who've done something similar, and so you have the ability to mimic somebody else's handwriting and or use a general handwriting to send the note?
Yeah, so we have about 32, last time I checked, 32 handwriting styles available on the website. We have about a portfolio of about 900 handwriting styles. It really becomes analysis paralysis, like if you start looking at tons and tons of these handwriting styles. If you're a person of influence where your stuff's going to end up online, and you're a public figure, and you want to do your own handwriting style, we absolutely can do that. Most people don't, because there's a cost associated with that, but we don't just create a font, we create a handwriting style. And what that means is we're actually pulling out the characteristics of how you write, when you write, like the natural spacing, the kerning, of what an A next to a B looks like, an A next to a C. I mean, everything is pulled out. Ligature styles. What do 2 T's look like next to each other? Do you loop them? Do you connect them? It's what's an E at the beginning of a word look like versus an E at the end of a word. I mean, it's pretty intense. What has gone into creating a genuine handwritten note. There's tons of technology on the back end that allows us to send a simple handwritten note on the front end. So it's pretty spectacular.
I know machine learning is such a buzzword right now. How does machine learning kind of play into this? And does
so it's. I would say our handwriting engine is machine learning right now. It completely varies every single time it writes. I wouldn't say that it's a true smart machine learning, but what it does is it constantly varies every single handwritten note. So if you plugged 100 custom messages, into our handwriting software and you wrote out 100 notes and you put them all next to each other, it's literally going to look 100% different every single time it's written. So we put a lot of thought and research and development to making sure that they look as real as possible, because if not, there's really no purpose of our service if the notes that we are writing don't look the most authentic.
Yeah, I can say that I've gotten many realtor email or physical letters that are clearly just printed out on a printer and
Mm-hmm.
have some font that sort of ties together some cursive.
Yeah. So the real way of telling that is the smudge test. You just lick your finger and just try to smudge the ink. A laser printed font will not smudge, but since these are real pens, we actually had to build our own pen. We can dive into because we write so many notes, but if you actually write it with a real pen and you try to smudge it, the ink will smear. So that's the number one way to tell if it's actually pen written or not.
And you have some kind of it does a little indent on the paper as well?
Yep, and that was another reason, we had to develop our own technology. So those AxiDrop machines, all they have is a little lift motor, and there's no downward pressure force. So we did a weighted pen. We actually developed this pen. We developed our own pen insert with more writing capacity. So when our motor lifts it, it actually lifts the pen, but when it goes down, we actually have a downward force on it. So we actually have a spring force that actually pushes the pen into the paper as well. So so you're going to get that nice little pen indentation, plus it's ink, so it's going to smear. So it's going to be really hard. You really, really have to try to find some type of, pattern in these when there isn't. But yeah.
Have you ever had anybody ask for Mont Blanc black blue ink?
Yeah, when we were like first getting started, that was really funny. Like the early customers would ask for like that crazy stuff, but no more. I think people are starting to understand that this is a service that is out there. There are a couple competitors out there. There's really only maybe 2 serious players in this space. I think businesses now just want something that's easy to use, efficient, authentic, a good product. And that's what we're trying to do for our clients over here at Simply Noted.
Do you have some numbers that you could share that show sort of the uptick at the end of a sales cycle or response rate? I've heard that getting a handwritten note has helped other companies get a better response rate on campaigns and just outreach. Yeah.
Well, first, handwritten notes have a 99% open rate. That's a 300% improvement over print mail. So if you're thinking about doing direct mail and you're doing print, you might as well just throw 7 out of every $10 in the trash because it's not going to do anything. This was actually an American Express study, but they found out that just, this is a client experience study that American Express did, but just a simple 5% improvement in client retention will increase profits year over year by 25 to 95%. They did that on business accounts. But just retaining 5% more each year is going to help you grow your business or grow your sales by 25 to 95% year over year. For me, I mean, that makes complete sense. If we were able to, keep our current business clients, year over year, especially, our larger accounts, it would be easier to grow your business. So that makes total sense. Also, there's, customers who feel appreciated, they're 5 times more likely to make a repeat purchase. So just saying thank you. You're going to increase your repeat purchases from your clients, repeat business by 500%. That was also American Express study as well. So really when it comes down to it, it's like just building deeper relationships with your clients, because when you have deeper, more loyal relationships, they're going to stick around, they're going to refer their friends, and they're going to write better reviews, which really is going to help you grow your business, and that's what we're really trying to do. I would say those are some good stats with Simply Noted.
Do you have some you don't have to say any client names, but any examples of situations, maybe retail or e-commerce or even just regular B2B type of outreach that have been very successful?
Yeah, so we work with a luxury hat brand. What they do is when somebody tries their discounted hat, what they'll do is they'll automate a handwritten note with a discount code to try their more expensive hat. So they're trying to upsell them. So, I mean, they've been doing that for over a year. So I think if it was working, if it wasn't working, they wouldn't keep doing it. So that's kind of a cool, unique kind of use case that we've seen in the e-com world. Also, we have a luxury jewelry brand, and it's really funny. It's their average sale probably is $3,000 or more, but what they use us for is when they get a customer complaint. So we see somebody who didn't have a good experience, we see that message get automated all the time. It's a global company, and they're sending hundreds of notes a week. But you would think, using something like that to apologize and get them back on board, to get them to like the brand more. To try to get that loyalty back. We've seen them for upselling. We've seen them for saying sorry to try to, earn their trust back. So, there's a bunch of ways to use it.
That's interesting on the customer complaint, because it is a little bit of a risk, especially if you automate it too much. Is that something where somebody would actually handwrite, but type it out, and then it comes to your engine and then gets mailed out?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think in something like that, you want to keep it super generic, and give them the opportunity to reach back out to you. That's what this brand does. They just say that they're really sorry. They're apologizing for that experience. If you want to talk, I'd love to talk to you more about it. And they put a contact number for them. So it actually looks, as authentic as possible. They're trying to be authentic. They're trying to fix it. I think if you're trying to get super custom and it's just like a use case just to send it and forget it, I wouldn't say that's the best case. But if you're giving them the option to then further contact you again and talk about it, the authenticity of something like that is something that's extremely powerful.
I've heard that you can overdo handwritten notes as well. Like it is something that should be spaced out over time, and like if you're tagging somebody at the end of an e-commerce sale, and you don't want to send them a handwritten note every week saying, "Hey, thanks for this."
Well, I mean, we would love it if our accounts sent hundreds to each of their clients, but yeah, we try to recommend to our businesses 3 to 4 times a year at the most, at least once or twice a year. We're in the holidays right now, so it's our busiest time of the year. That's when most of our businesses are using us. But I would say, maybe thank you for a purchase, maybe a birthday or an anniversary of a purchase, and then a holiday, just stay top of mind. Simply Note is just another tool in the belt. That's what we try to tell them as well. You still got to do everything else. You still got to have great customer service, a great product, email, phone calls, social. I mean, you got to have all the other elements to build a successful business. It's just what we do is help you just build that strong relationship on an automatic or scaled, level.
On that experience part and scale, I should say, are customers seeing some kind of, or I should say, are merchants seeing a better uptick when it's a little bit personalized, or is it still effective if you're sending out a nice note with a thank you and the person's name at the end?
Well, we always recommend to personalize it. That's the power of all the technologies that's out there right now. Using platforms like Zapier, Integromat, or Make, whatever they are now, Integrately, you can pull information automatically from your software and personalize the message as much as possible. We definitely don't recommend just putting a generic message on there because it can come off as impersonal. When the product that we are trying to provide is a very high-level touch personal. So we would absolutely recommend sending something that is as personalized as possible. But short and sweet, your clients have 7-second attention spans, 3 or 4 sentences, respect their time. Don't send them, 2 paragraphs of a message. It's just not real or authentic. Try to put yourself in their shoes, be on the receiving end of this. What would you like to receive? Just maybe a simple thank you. We appreciate you so much. Please let us know if we can do anything for you. Short, sweet, to the point is going to be much more impactful than thank you, upsell, hard close, 150-word message where they're going to, if they don't, I was just listening to a podcast yesterday actually about something. If you don't have them hooked within 3 seconds, they just start skim reading. Like if you don't have their attention within that first sentence, I was trying to listen to podcasts about developing stronger messaging, and there's within 3 seconds, if you don't have them, they just start skim reading. So again, short and sweet to the point is what works the best, but make sure it's personalized to them.
And how about hooks in that message to get them to do some action? Is there something in there that sometimes you'd like them to do, or is it just a hey, thanks for your customer?
So my background's in sales and marketing, so we use it to grow our business. But what I always try to tell people is just say thank you. But if you are going to use it for like a sales or marketing tool to book more appointments or close more deals, I always say there's 3 things you got to include. So, who you are, make a quick introduction, 1 sentence. Who you are, what company you're with. What's your value proposition? So number 2, how can you help them? How are you going to make their life better? And then just simple make and ask. Can we get on a call? Can we buy you lunch? Something like that. Just really quick and to the point. Respect their time. If they're interested, they'll call you back. But yeah, I'd say make an introduction, value proposition, and then make an ask.
Is there a crossover into the personal space, sending birthday cards and Christmas cards and things like that? Or are you primarily commercial?
So our website, simplynoted.com, can send just 1 card for any reason. But our website was built on purpose. We had to be an API-first company. So all of our orders, they do go through our website, but they use software to automate it. But if anybody, wants to go in and send a quick birthday card or a holiday card, you can do that on our website. But we're primarily focused on helping companies do it because they have the technology and the resources put in place, to leverage a system like this. But we still want to help, the average realtor or mortgage professional or just anybody who wants to send a card. It's actually a good reason for a lot of people to just try us out as well. They want to try before they buy, so they'll go on there and we allow them to send their first card free so they can send it, see what it's like, touch it, get it in their mail. Yeah.
Excellent. Do you have a font that can't read? So nobody can read my handwriting. So do you have it so they'll know that, hey, this is coming from Brent, so definitely I can't even read it.
Yeah, so I think it's Rafiki. It's kind of like a doctor's, I would call it scratch. I mean, it's super disgusting. It's really hard to read. But, I'll send a handwritten note or two a day just to, people stay in touch or thank them for something they've done for me recently. And I'll still use our system because, if I wrote it, my handwriting is so terrible that I'll write it out and then I'll try to read it. I'm like, this is just terrible on the eyes. Like, this isn't even a nice reading experience. Like, I'd rather use that handwriting style that we have on our website and put our message in online just to send one or two because my handwriting is terrible. So there's just something like that too. I'm trying to put myself in the recipient's shoes as well. It's like, do they want to read my chicken scratch or they want to have some, handwriting style that does look like a handwriting style, but it's actually enjoyable to read? Because mine will literally hurt your eyes. It'll do a lot of squinting. Like, what is that? Yeah.
We can't go onto the website and pick the Rick Elmore font.
No. That will never be on the website because I don't think anybody would choose it.
If you had one nugget that you think customers should do going into quarter one or just throughout for 2023, what do you think is something that people could be doing in both customer experience and communication?
So there's 100 different, competitors to every service. It doesn't matter. We live in 2022, almost 2023. Competition's so fierce across the board in everything that we do. So what I try to do with my clients is give them 10 times more value and appreciation. So no matter what, they're going to be loyal to us because I know they have the ability to go out there and shop around and try other people. So what I try to do is just focus on that relationship because I know our product is going to get better and it's always going to be improving, but I want the people that have worked with us 2 years ago or last year to stay with us and come with us and help us. So I would say, early on, every single year is somehow get in front of your clients. It doesn't matter if you're going to pick up the phone and call them and thank them for what they did for you last year. Do something to engage them in a way that you're getting their loyalty stuck to you and your brand. Like, what are you doing to build that loyalty on a consistent basis? Because, I'm a big tech guy and I have, tech brands that I like to follow, but there's different options. But I do have one brand that always somehow gets my attention, and they're really good at staying on top of mind. And actually, they called me after my last purchase and said, "Hey, we saw you, you're on your 7th purchase. Thank you so much." That's impactful. What are you doing to stay in front of your clients? Because that attention span, especially with ads and social and digital, it's really hard, to stay top of mind 24/7 when everybody, including your competitors, are fighting for that space. So I would say definitely figure out a way to get that trust, get that loyalty, get them, 100% on your ship every single year.
Yeah, that's a really good point. There's so much noise out there nowadays, and making sure that you're kind of going above the fray, you have to do something that others aren't doing. And I think that personal touch, be it a personal phone call or a handwritten note, is such a great way of making sure that you're up above what everybody else is doing and trying to stay out of that noise of generic social media and generic emails.
Rick, somebody,
go ahead.
I have another little nugget here. I use a podcasting service, to help us. with our outreach. And the owner of this company gave me a phone call, and I didn't answer because I didn't know who it was. And then what he did was recorded a message on Zoom just thanking me for being a client on his platform. And he sent me an email saying, hey, just sent you this message, just wanted to whatever. And it was a video, like a 3-minute video thanking me for being a client. Like, you're like, am I going to be loyal to him or go try some different service, you know? So that was a cool way somebody just got my attention recently as well. And that takes 2 or 3 minutes. You know, it's really easy to do, you know, on a computer nowadays. Everybody knows how to use Zoom and do that recording as well.
Yeah, I think Vineyard is a great tool to use just to give those personal little video responses. Rick, as I close out the podcast, I give everybody a chance to do a shameless plug. You can plug anything you'd like. What would you like to plug today?
Yeah, so what we do is anybody who goes to our website, we'll actually send them a nice sample kit. So we do a good job of putting together this big 10 by 13 folio with writing samples, brochures, case studies, handwriting styles, basically everything that after 4.5 years of doing this, we know what questions people ask, and we answer those questions in this sample kit. So if you went to simplynoted.com and just go to the business page and you can fill out your information, we'll send you this nice sample kit. And usually what happens, people request it, and then 3 to 6 months later, the light bulb goes off, and then they'll contact us. So we highly recommend you just to go to simplynoted.com and go to the business page and let us send you a free sample kit. It's on us. And just see, how great this technology is. And Simply Noted really just wants to help automate it and scale it. And you can see how we can do that with this sample kit.
That's awesome. Rick, thanks so much for being here today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Brent. It's great to be here.
Thank you for making it to the end of this episode of Talk Commerce. Please rate this episode wherever you download your podcasts. We are actively looking for people to participate in the Free Joke Project. Go to talk-commerce.com and sign up for your free spot on the Free Joke Project. If you are a business, I will do a 30-second elevator pitch in the spot to help promote your business. That's talk-commerce.com.